In this video, we're going to give you a very quick overview of how to open a claim, run it through its paces, and close it at the end. Of course, this is assuming that you have security rights that are appropriate within ClaimWizard to do so. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into ClaimWizard, and if you're opening a brand new client claim and property, you go to the top and to the fast entry button. If you don't see this button, you don't have this security clearance to enter in a brand new or onboard a new claim. So here we're going to do new client, property, and claim. And I'm just going to put in crazy info while we're going through this. Okay, so here you want to enter in, and you can just scroll down and fill out the information. There are very few pieces of information that are actually required. If this may be an existing client in your system, you're going to want to search them up and then just add a new property and claim to that person or company. So here I'm going to enter in the very basics just so we can get through this tutorial. And of course you could scroll down. If there's a primary contact and a secondary contact, you can put that in the fast entry. You could have unlimited contacts, especially good for commercial claims, but that is in the actual claim itself, not in a fast entry screen. Here we're going to scroll down a little bit, and of course you could always go the up and down arrows to get to each section. Property name here is just something that we use because we honestly need something to click. Sometimes people will use the street address or a nickname like Pyramid Building or something for the street address. Property type, you can of course click through all of this. Property description, any of the hover icons will get you there. Is the address the same as the client's? Yes or no, because in commercial properties this might be different. Coming down here, reason for claim. These determine what workflow you kick off. Your reason for claim does not change after you start working a claim. Even if a claim has to go to litigation or estimation during the process of the claim, the reason why you're opening the claim never changes. Of course, you can pick whatever, whoops, we'll just say business interruption. We'll give it some crazy things, right? There we go down here. My mouse is being funny. We'll say accidental water flow is our favorite. Any of the information that you have that you can onboard initially with a claim is helpful. If you don't understand what some of the things are, chances are you may not need it. Like CRN deadline is probably Florida only. Recoverable depreciation deadline, tolling statute of limitations for when you can bring suit. If you have these specifically from the policy or the deck page, we recommend putting them in. Related to is if it's a hurricane or something, so you can search for it later. The last piece of information that we need is your contract date, because without a contract date, you don't legally have a client, and that's when the claim starts for you. So you can put all this in. So if you want to put this information in, you can, if you're getting paid on a percentage, a flat fee, or time and first contact date and time. All of these will play into the claim going forward. If you know who the carrier is, you can, if it's in your system already, put it in there. And then, of course, all of the insurance policy information. This is a quick entry, so like I said, you can add more or what have you when you're actually in the claim. We'll scroll down. If you know mortgage details, usually don't when you get the first assignment for the contract. And then down here, we have personal assignments. We give you 4 here, but of course you could have unlimited people assigned to a particular claim in any particular role. All of these roles show up, but if you have someone that is not in that role, let's see, we don't have anybody in the role of analyst, so no personnel show up. So we can do that. And any particular notes you might need to onboard this claim. Hit save, and then what we're going to do here is open the claim. Of course, if you have a stack in front of you, you can onboard them all and then go in after. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to go straight into the claim. Now here is pretty much a bare bones claim in ClaimWizard. You can see a lot of the red on top is because we're missing crucial information. But if you go down the left-hand side, these tabs generally run in the order that you're going to encounter them within ClaimWizard. Anywhere you see this green pencil or just a green pencil on its own, you can click on it and edit it. So maybe you got a claim number from the carrier, things like that, claim severity, you know, these are all for you to determine what you'd like to use these for. You can actually put them in here and sort on them. Now scroll down, you're going to see any of your claim deadlines that you entered. You're going to enter in your loss details. Maybe you know your estimated loss amount is 52, we'll just make up numbers, right? Claim reserve. So if you talk to the carrier and understand what the reserve that the insurance carrier has put on it, let's just give some numbers in here, then you can do that. And you could say 25,000, whatever it is, whatever your numbers make sense, absolutely for you. If it's a FEMA claim, it's FIGA. I think we're putting in LIGA, and California has one. If it's inhabitable or not, related to state of emergency, tons of information that you can put in, because the more you put in, the better information you'll get about. And then on the bottom, we start building a claim timeline for you. If you have action items enabled and set up in your system, they will automatically start generating. That is a much deeper conversation than this, but know that action items that are associated with the, let's see, reason for claim right here on the summary is new claim. These action items come from that, and we automatically start generating these action items for you to go to. Action items determine on every single claim what needs to be done, when it needs to be done by, who it needs to be done by, what happens when the task is successfully completed, and what happens if the task is overdue. So even though this one here says it was added today, it's due tomorrow, it's not overdue, it's just because it is marked as critical versus a regular status. We kind of give you the red a little bit earlier so that your eye is drawn to it. You can click here, find out when it's due, reassign it to anyone in your company, whatever is applicable. We usually encourage you to do a boilerplate for this, but then of course one-off, sometimes people are going to need to change things around. So as these tasks are completed, we click it and you can see welcome client letter sent to client. We have samples that we have loaded in here, but we highly encourage our clients to go through on the administrative level and executive level and take their claim process and put it into the system, because it will drag you through your deadlines and your paperwork kind of on its own. But this particular action item is a dead end, right? So it gets done and nothing else needs to be triggered from there. But here, for example, send letter of representation to insurance carrier. Once that task is completed by the office manager or whoever did it, you'll see here, it was assigned to office staff. So if you have 3, but Lynette did it, she is going to get tagged with credit for completing that action item. Next, we said we send the letter of rep, and the very next thing in this particular workflow is to sign a public adjuster. So for example, we can go into company personnel. We realize we have a public adjuster on our side already assigned. Some people don't assign them before the business comes in, some people do. So we can say yes, assign or verify. So I've done that. And you can see as we click through, the very next task that needs to be done gets put in front of the right person at the right time. So here we're seeing everything, but right now, as I'm clicking through this, the adjuster is going to get an alert either on their phone or on their desktop saying, hey, you've been given new action items to take care of. When you assign them to a claim via company personnel, they will either get a message or an email, depending on how they choose to get that information given to them, that tells them you have 3 new claims assigned to you, or whatever it happens to be. So here you can see the task is due in 5 days. So by the time we get to what I call the request receive loop, here we're going to request documents from the insurance company. So it might be whatever your process is. And these are high level generic, so we're just showing you examples, but feel free to get in a little bit deeper, but not too much, into the, get a green folder and put it in this folder, drawer sort of thing. But when you request information, such as sending information, your, whatever to the insurance company, any and all relevant information on this case, if it's an existing case, whatever makes sense for your company, you're going to want to have a receive loop, right? So number 4, we just got done. We sent in whatever way a request to the insurance company, and we're giving the insurance company, 2 weeks or whatever that time period is that you've predetermined to get that answer back to you. So you never want to ask for something without a reminder to receive it. The most pertinent example is you can't receive money before you send an invoice. So that's how that's going to go. And as you click through these, it's going to tell you the process that needs to happen within your predefined workflow for that particular type of claim. So whether you have a claim that is a brand new claim that has not been reported to the carrier yet, a reopen, a supplemental, estimating only, umpire work, professional work, whatever that is, we probably have a workflow for you that you can set and define. So here you even see I scheduled the inspection, and then there's a corresponding action item to complete the inspection. Because one thing we're really big on is just because you did the inspection or the estimate and it's sitting in your work truck or your laptop, it's not complete till it's turned into the company. So you can see as we're going through here, I'm just clicking through, and then I've done all of the sample tasks associated with this particular claim. With that, you're going to see down here, activity log and message archive is where most of your diary notes are going to go. And you can see a lot of automated pieces within the system that get done are automatically generated as a diary entry. So you don't have to go back and click an item to say that you did it and then make a note that you've done it. It happens automatically. Now, please know that there are a lot of buttons here, and you're not going to do any harm, but you can click on buttons to see what happens when you want to look at the activity log, the message archive. You can archive emails into your system. So in the upper right-hand corner, there is an email address that is unique for every single claim with your company code, the ClaimWizard number at claimmail.net. And if you copy or BCC that and you are a registered user with your email address in ClaimWizard, it will file that email automatically in an archive status within the claim itself, so that when you need to pull information out of a claim, that it can be done so in one place. Some of the other items in here is if you want to have a schedule and it's not a calendar, but it's a schedule. You might say inspection and what day you want to do that inspection on. We're going to do the inspection on the 26th at 11. It's already linked to this claim, so the address is already attached to it. And anyone that is linked to this particular claim can be associated with it as well. And then you can save this. Whoops, end date 26th. There we go. And now we have an inspection. Now if we go back here, let's see, where's the calendar? Calendar. And I look on January 26th. Down here, you're going to see the actual inspection, when it was done. If you click on it, you're going to get the information here. And then you can obviously jump back to that particular claim. And here's the same information we had. My best practice here is if an inspection gets canceled or it's a no-show, mark it as such and don't delete it from your calendar. That way, we'll just backdate it. That way you have proof in your calendar that there have been multiple attempts made and people are not showing up or what have you. It makes a much better file, to be honest. Anything above this hash line is current. Anything under it is past tense meetings. Okay. Next thing we're going to go down is insured and policy. So in the beginning third of the claim, of the policy details as possible. So you might want to put in, let's see, HO5, whatever it is, has an appraisal clause, has arbitration. These are data points for you to use and for also reporting purposes. So you can put this in there and all the information will be here. This is also very helpful when you want to generate your proof of loss. Once you're going in and kind of working through your action items and doing your things, obviously claims could take a while to close. It's not in a 10-minute session. We're going to go through and we're going to look at some of the other tabs that you can pay attention to. One of the first up here is templates. So there are templates in here. You can upload. Anyone that has the admin that has the gears in the lower left-hand corner has security clearance to do it. But you can upload your own custom letters and templates, and we do have a place where you can actually learn how to do that. It works much like Microsoft Mail Merge with our own variables. If you want some standard templates that we've already included in ClaimWizard, you can open this section, and those templates all have a wizard hat in front of it. So if some of them are pretty standard, like you have to use specific FEMA forms example, but if you want to do a proof of loss, you can do it there. And let me just open this up and show you what it looks like, because it just drug down into my local computer. And you can see this is all filled out. Because I don't have any of this data filled out, I put in company claim number, accidental overflow. Here's some of the numbers we were working on. So any information that you put into ClaimWizard that we can get back out of it. Again, there are multiple proof of loss forms. There's a sample letter of representation. And something that may be a little out of the scope of this is we have something called a snippet, which basically allows you to copy very specific information from this particular claim into your computer's clipboard so that you can copy and paste it out. Okay, so once you may have the proof of loss or what have you, you may want to put it to the files section. So each claim has its own dedicated and siloed claim section, or I'm sorry, file section that you can set up default folders for back in your admin section so that every single time you open a new claim in ClaimWizard, you get the same file structure. Of course, there's nothing in here right now, so if I wanted to upload that proof of loss, I can, let's see, upload it in proof of loss, select, and I am going to drag and drop that file here, if I can figure it out. Downloads. We're going to put that in. It's going to upload it. It's done. Proof of loss is now here. For anyone that wants to take a look at it, I just opened it, but it opened in a different viewer because my PDFs are set up that way. You can also annotate these, so you can say POL final on XYZ date, whatever annotations that you want with that. That way, when you're looking at it, we will always preserve exactly the file and the file name that you uploaded in, but we will add your annotations just to make things a little bit easier on you. You can select any or all files from here, click the share button, click it, and then we always recommend send as link. This is my own personal preference because if you send an email from here, it is not trackable. So I copy this, and this link kind of works like a Dropbox link, and I hit share. Once you do that, if you send this link to a client, they can take this file themselves. If there are multiples, it will offer them the individual files or one big zip file. This way you can send large quantities of data without having to take the onus in your email system. Okay, what else do we want to cover? Mortgages and liens. If you have a lien holder or a mortgage company that you need to deal with, you might want to document it here just so that you know when mortgage companies require proof of rebuilds or have managed checks and things like that, that you can keep track of who that is. One of the other parts that's really important, that kind of between the workflow and the demands and offers and our financial systems is very important for ClaimWizard, is your demands and offers. So when a carrier comes to you or you go to them and you say, we're going to do dwelling, and we're going to say, I'm making up numbers here, right? Recoverable holdback, a non-recoverable depreciation, maybe there's a $5,000 depreciation, or what did I want on there? Deductible, not depreciation. Okay, let's put a deductible in, a deductible applied. And then any notes that you want, accepted or rejected. My screen is zoomed in, so the buttons aren't normally this bad. Sorry about that. So then here we have dwelling, it's pending, and you have all of your information in this. If this winds up changing for some reason, you can edit it. I usually like to keep notes down here, but maybe for some reason they skimmed $700 off of it. You're going to accept that and click accepted. What this does is tell it that it's no longer in negotiation, that it is a settled amount, and it then goes into your accounts receivable, which we call your claim ledger. If you require proof of loss for this specific piece, you can put your dates in here so that you don't miss them, and we will remind you of those. So here what we did is we said now it's 21, instead of 756, it's 21056. Both parties have accepted that, and it is the final for this piece, not the entire claim. You may want to go through and say, contents always takes longer, right? We could say 12, we'll just give it that much, and go through that way. And you can see here, now we have 21,000 that is accepted and 1,200 that's still pending. So you can at least start collecting these checks here. What that looks like on the bottom end is if you have appropriate security clearance to get into the claim ledger, it is going to show up here 4 pieces of that pie of money. Total payments to date are 0. Outstanding on the claim is 21,056, and that is just the accepted amount. Remember, we have a part that's still pending, and that doesn't count because we're not going to receive that money yet. Outstanding expenses, if you'd like to track expenses per claim here, and then waiting distribution, which means you've gotten the money from the carrier and now it's just waiting to be distributed. So what this would look like is that we would actually go through here and see payments. You can add payment, and there's a tutorial up here. Click add payment. Maybe they paid $20,000 on this, check reference, whatever it is. I'm just typing goggly gook. If you have multiple settlements and they send one check, you can split the settlement amount across multiple settlements there and click save. Now you can see here $20,000 in payments. They still owe the rest of that, and waiting distribution, disbursement is here, meaning that we haven't dispersed that money. Here we're going to go to disbursements, and we're going to say, oh, we want a disbursements worksheet. So we have $20,000 in the kitty. You may stack checks. It's up to you. Your 10% fee is $2,000. Goes to the client is $18. Usually it can work a lot of different ways. Maybe the client's giving you a check. Maybe you're using ink. Maybe you take all of the money, cut the client a check, you keep the rest. 1,000 different public adjusting companies, 10,000 ways to do things. But what you're going to want to do here specifically is your company breakdown, because it's going to show you how you can distribute your chunk of the pie. So if you have any expenses that you need to take off the top, such as expert reports, etc., that you want to pay before you start doing contingency fees for your public adjusters, maybe he gets 40%, right? So we can put that number in when we set up him assign him to the claim, or you can do it after. It's up to you what you'd like to do, but that number is hidden regardless of where it is, unless you have financial clearance. So here on this particular 2,000 check, your adjuster gets $800, which means total amount to the company is $1,200. Once those numbers are how you want it, you can save it. Now you can see up here in waiting disbursement, it's 0 because we have dispersed and figured out where all of your company fees go. Here you can see your company fee is $1,200. That's your net. Your adjuster gets $800 and the client gets $1,800. When you actually pay this person, you can go through and actually click in the date, and maybe the client got paid, I don't know, on the 16th or something. You could do that. My mouse pointer's being weird. Maybe they took their money on that day. So, or maybe a bank deposit is this day. So you can track where your money is. Not a problem. And of course, added notes. There are corresponding reports for all of this. We're just going to go over how to get a claim in front to back. So that is done there. Of course, there are many different other areas within ClaimWizard that you can take a look at. One thing that I'd like to note is that notes are for general notes, not claim-related notes. So the thing that I like to use this for is lockbox keys, maybe something pertinent information about the claim or the property that people that are working the claim on your behalf may need to know, like the client has 10 cats sort of thing, or what have you, that you don't necessarily want in the general population of your activity log. We do have ability to add your scene from Matterport in here onto a multiple unlimited scenes, that sort of thing. We do have time tracking in here so that if you are in a capacity where you need to charge by time, you can do that. We also do have ways that you can put activity logs in on your claim that show the hours that are worked. Billable resource, maybe if you want to collect this, and then it's billable, yes. So you can put their time in. We'll just take some test stuff. And now you can see here that, the information goes into the system. Some other things here to note are legal details. The only people that have access to these notes are anyone that is assigned as an assignable role within your ClaimWizard account that have some sort of legal status to them, either legal partner, paralegal, anything, because a lot of companies will get accounts for their attorneys to come in and work. And on your side, it's only executives. It's not managers. It's not financial people. It's nothing. So this is kind of a protected area for that type of information. So that's what we have in the claim itself. If you're looking to actually, if you've worked this claim and it's gone through its status, you can actually, if you have security clearance, go up to the menu and close claim. So you can say settled, canceled, or closed without pay, leave whatever reason it's going to be. And once you do that, it will either give you a big green or big red bar. Green bar is settled in a positive manner. Closed without pay or canceled shows up red. That way, when you are working through a claim that you may have opened accidentally, you can immediately tell if it's kind of been put to bed. In here, there are lots of buttons. I suggest clicking on them if you need to. Watch is much like a bookmark. So if you click watch, it will come up here. And when the page refreshes, you will get watch claims up here. Whoops. Let's click on this. Some of the others are update claim, which is a very standard place. You can put in generic log entries that show up in your activity log. You can put ad hoc action items. You can upload files directly from here, or you can change the claim phase manually if you need to. Generally, claim phases are updated automatically as you're working through your action items. If you need to edit property information, you can jump straight there from here. You can see we've changed tabs from claims up to clients on the left-hand side. Every client exists in ClaimWizard once with all of your information in it. Every client has 0 to unlimited properties, and each property has 0 to unlimited claims. So if for some reason on this particular client, you needed to add another claim to 3457 Main Street, you can go over here to the right, hit claim, and it's going to give you an abbreviated version of that fast entry. The same applies if you need to actually add a property. The button is right above. So you can go through, add a property type, all that information, and it will show up as a separate block here with no, let's do one real quick. And we're going to put it in. So you can see right here, it showed up as this, and it has no information in it because we really didn't enter anything. It doesn't even have a claim yet. So you can add a claim here, put in your information, and it will show up like this square above. Of course, you do have the ability to edit it. So if you wanted to upload a photo, update the information, that sort of thing, you can definitely go through and do that, and it will give you that information going forward. Each client can have files. The files are not shared with the particular claim because this might be a master contract of work, or something along those lines that you want to keep track of. And notes are private notes on this client alone. Of course, you can delete the client. You have to have very specific user security to do that. Or if from here you just want to enter a new client, which is a prospect until they actually open a claim with you, you can do that from this screen. Going forward, there are things like your companies. So you can view all of the companies, which are basically everything other than your own company. First party, third party, insurance companies, lawyers, inspectors, restorations, brokers, anything you want. You can put in here to kind of use and attach them to claims. They will not have access to ClaimWizard, but it allows you to keep track of like what plumber is working on what, or what tarp company is working on a particular house, so that your staff can contact them. Here, if you have anything over a single user account, you will have a star, and it will allow you to see all of your staff and to be able to go through their summaries, their open claims. There's a lot of information in here, including their staff administration, which dictates what security roles and titles they have in the system. Schedule, we touched upon before. You can look at it from here, or you can do a deep dive into every particular claim from here. Reports, we have a ton. So you might want to go through all claims with peril type. We'll just say for whatever reason, if you want to accidental water overflow or whatever we picked, that claim that we had today will show up here. So where are we? Here we are, Marnie McTest. So you can see and you can search and you can get a lot of information back out. Most reports are able to be exported to CSV or Excel format. So you'll see those buttons when they are applicable up here. So we'll do all canceled claims, that sort of thing, so you can see what there is, or of course you can print it from your screen. The next up is a library. We have some information in here, getting started guides, etc. Merlin has so graciously let us listed their legal guides for public adjusters for I think all the states that they work in. We're not associated with them, but it's a nice thing to have. Professional organizations and additional resources that you might be interested in. Lastly is the admin section, which allows you, if you have security clearance, to go in and take a look at all of the information and set up, including email archiving, your default file structure, your client portal information, and your action item workflows. So all of that gets done from here. But again, that's a really deep dive that's probably not applicable for here. So hopefully that is a half an hour explanation of how to work a claim A to Z within ClaimWizard. If you need more help, you can always go to help.claimwizard.com. We have a ton of online resources and videos to help you out on very specific things, as well as a ticketing system that we can help you with whenever you need.